Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Week 3 picks of the 2019 college football season for 2019. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that, and you won't regret it. So let's go over my records real quick. My updated records through Week 2. Overall, so far this year, I am 29-13. That's a pretty solid record. Against the spread, I am 24-18. Straight up, in my straight up picks, I do 10 games each week that are straight up. I am 16-6. And my locks of the week, which I count as long as I get the pick correctly, I give myself the win, or if I get it wrong, I give myself the L. I am 8-2 in my locks of the week, and then in my upsets of the week, I'll give you 5 upsets each week. I am 5-5 at 500. 500. So let's keep this up. We'll go through 20 games. We're going to start off with the straight up picks, and the first game I'm going to talk about is a Friday night game. North Carolina versus Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a 3-point favorite at home. I did rank North Carolina number 25 in my college football pool going into Week 3. The AP pool, unfortunately, does not have North Carolina in their pool. I think this is going to be a very tight game. But at the end, I am going to go with Wake Forest. I'm going to say they win and cover. I'm going to say they win this one by a touchdown. I have it 40-33. Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest, I don't know if they're the better team per se, but I think overall I am going to go ahead and say, since the game is at Wake Forest, I'm going to say Wake Forest is going to get the win here, 40-33. Next game, Pittsburgh versus Penn State. Penn State is a 17-point favorite. I do think that Penn State is a pretty good team. I think they could very easily win this game. I definitely have Penn State winning this game. The spread is the crushing in this game. And I'm going to go ahead and say that Penn State goes ahead and covers the spread here. I have it 35-10 Penn State, 25-point win. I think Pitt's going to struggle in this one. Last year, this game was, I think, like 51-6, if I'm not mistaken, in Penn State's favor. But overall, I do think that the game's going to be closer. But give me Penn State in this one, 35-10. The game's in Happy Valley. So give me Penn State. Next game, Stanford versus UCF. This might be your game of the week right here, even though I'm going to tell you what the game of the week is here coming up in this video. UCF, 7.5-point favorite at home. I went back and forth with this one. I gave it to UCF. I don't think they covered it. I'm going to say UCF goes ahead and wins this one by 6 points. I do have this one 37-31 UCF. Stanford really disappointed me last week after picking them. So we'll see what happens. They have to go across the country to play this one. Give me UCF by 6. I don't think they cover the spread, but I do think they win 37-31. Next game, Alabama versus South Carolina. This game is going to be kicking off SEC your SEC game of the week on CBS. South Carolina is a 25.5-point underdog. And by the way, before I continue, these spreads, they are, I got these, they are updated from betnow.eu. I got them at 10 a.m. this morning. So, that's where the spread picks come from, in case you guys were wondering. But South Carolina, 25.5-point underdogs. I definitely think that Alabama's going to win this game. The question is the spread. I do think South Carolina could play them tough, maybe only lose by 2 touchdowns. But I also think South Carolina could get blown out by 5 or 6 touchdowns. I'm leaning more towards the 5 and 6 touchdowns result, but I do think it won't be by 5 touchdowns. I'm going to say it's going to be by 26 points. I'm going to say Alabama barely covers here. 40-14 Alabama. Alabama should go into South Carolina and beat them. I know you're going to hear about how, last time they played in South Carolina this game, South Carolina pulled off the upset. I don't see that happening. South Carolina, I think, looks like a 500 team at best, which is 6-6, so a barely bowl eligible team. So give me Alabama to win and cover 40-14, but the Alabama will cover barely. Next game, this game is the college game day of the week game. Iowa versus Iowa State. College game day is going to be at this game. I think it's the first time ever in Ames, Iowa. I have to go check on that. But Iowa State is a 2-point underdog at home. In my opinion, an upset is 3 points or more, so that's why this game got thrown into the straight up picks. But I do think Iowa State does pull off the minor upset here. Kind of a low scoring game, I think. I'm going to say 20-16 Iowa State. I just think Iowa State's a better team. I think ignore what happened in week one. I hate using that term because I always like looking at teams as a whole, but ignore what happened in week one when they beat Northern Iowa in an overtime game. And I think they win this one 20-16. I just think Iowa State's the better team. I think that crowd is going to be fired up with that game being a home game and with game day being there. Give me Iowa State 20-16. Now here's the other 5 games. I'm right here for your straight up picks. Arizona State versus Michigan State. Michigan State is a 14-point favorite at home. I do think Michigan State definitely wins this game. Last year, Arizona State kicked a last-second field goal against Michigan State to beat them. The spread is to crushing. I think both of these teams, especially Arizona State, they look pretty flat. Michigan State, they have a good enough defense, and since this game's in East Lansing, they'll win. I don't think they covered the spread. I think they'll come close to the spread. I have this game 28-16, a 12-point victory for Michigan State. 28-16 Michigan State. I just don't think they covered the spread with that offense. I think Arizona State is too good for them not to cover that spread. Well, that was kind of said wrong, but I think Arizona State, they'll play them tough, and I think that Michigan State goes ahead and wins this one, 28-16. Um, Next game here, I try to get, and by the way, I try to get a game in on these picks from each conference, at least one team from each conference. So that's why you see this game on here. Southern Miss versus Troy. Troy's a 2-point favorite at home. I'm going to say Troy wins this one by field goal and covers. I have it 30-27 Troy. I think both of these teams are pretty even. Southern Miss, in my opinion, is in a better conference. They're one of the better teams in their conference, the Conference USA. Troy's is going to be one of your better teams in the Sun Belt. Give me Troy, though, at home, 30-27. Next game, TCU versus Purdue. Purdue is a 2.5-point underdog. I do think that this game is going to be a very interesting game. Once again, I am taking the minor upset here. I'm going to say that I'm going to go ahead and say that Purdue wins this game in the minor upset as a 2.5-point underdog. I'm going to say 40-38 Purdue. I think Purdue, I don't think they're the better team per se. I think TCU is a tick better than them, but I think Rondale Moore makes a play or two as the best, one of the best wide receivers in college football. I think that will be the difference in this one. Give me Purdue at home, 40-38. Next game, your ABC night game here is Clemson versus Syracuse. Syracuse is a 4-touchdown underdog after taking a ass whooping from my Maryland Terps. Clemson, they have troubles against Syracuse for the past 2 years. I think Clemson definitely wins this game, but I'm going to be a bit bold possibly here because I've seen some people pick Clemson to win this one 70-10. I'm going to say Syracuse covers that spread. Now, I don't think they cover it by much. I have a 48-23 Clemson, but I'm going to go ahead and say Clemson is going to win this game, but I'm going to say that Syracuse covers that spread. I just really think that in that dome, it's just enough of a home field advantage that I think you gotta go with Clemson not covering the spread. So give me Clemson to win, but not covering that spread, 48-23. And then my final straight up pick, Texas Tech versus Arizona. This was going to be on the upset special, but the spread unfortunately got too close, so I had to do a little bit of shuffling. I do have Arizona winning this game. I think it will be a shootout, 52-49 Arizona. I think it's another minor upset. I really just feel like that the Arizona Wildcats, they want to get a big win this year. It's at the games in Arizona. Texas Tech, a team that they look kind of flat this year. I'll admit it. They look kind of flat. I think these are two of probably your more mediocre teams in each conference. Give me the home team by field goal in a shootout, 52-49 Arizona. Here are my locks of the week. As you can see, 5 locks right here. We'll go through these real quick. Air Force versus Colorado. Colorado's a 4-point favorite at home. I think Colorado does win this game and covers. I have Colorado winning this game. I have it 38-24 Colorado. I think they would win this one by 2 touchdowns. I think they're just the better team. And Colorado, they have an impressive win in week 2 against Nebraska. So give them credit where credit's due. Your next game here, USC versus BYU. USC is a 4-point favorite on the road against BYU. I think USC wins and covers. BYU, yeah, they might beat Tennessee last week, but I really think that they really have some issues on. I mean, it came down to a deep ball in that game for them to get it to overtime. So give me USC to go ahead and win this one. They're number 24 in the country. They barely missed being they're just outside my pool. They're number 26 in my opinion. They're the 26th best team in college football. Give me BYU in the Give me USC in this one. I think USC wins and covers, as I said. Kind of tripping on myself a little bit. USC wins this one. I have it 31-17 USC. They win by 2 touchdowns as well. Hawaii versus Washington. Washington, a team that's coming off a loss against Cal. Hawaii, a team that turns over the ball a lot. Washington, a 3-touchdown favorite at home. I'm going to say Washington wins and covers here. Give me Washington by 4 touchdowns. I'm going to go ahead and say 42-9 Washington. I think Hawaii struggles in this game. Washington, they're going to be pretty angry after getting upset at home like that. I think they're going to come out and try to send a message to at least to the Pac-12. So give me Washington in this one, 42-9, as I think they cover. Next one, Florida State versus Virginia. Virginia is a 7.5-point favorite. I think Virginia wins and covers. As I said earlier this week in a video, I said that Virginia will beat Florida State by at least 2 touchdowns. I'm sticking to that. And I actually think it'll be 17 points. Give me Virginia in this one, 27-10 over Florida State. Florida State, I think, has major issues. Virginia has a very good defense. I think that will be the difference in that game. And then my final lock of the week, Oklahoma versus UCLA. UCLA, 23-point underdogs. I think Oklahoma goes ahead and wins this game by more than 23 points. So give me Oklahoma to win and cover. I have Oklahoma going ahead and winning this one. I have it 52-20. Oklahoma. UCLA might be your second worst team in Power 5 outside Rutgers. So we'll see what happens between them and Oregon State because I think they do face each other this year. But give me Oklahoma 52-20 against UCLA. Now here are my 5 upsets of the week. They have to be 3-point favorites to be upsets. That's the rule. That's what they use on college game day. So I just go by that rule. So here are my 5 upsets of the week. First game, Washington State versus Houston. Houston is a 9-point underdog. Houston will outright win this game. I think Houston goes ahead and wins this one in a shootout. I like Houston in this one, 45-38. I think Washington State's the better team. I projected them to lose this game in the preseason, and I'm sticking to it. Give me Houston in this one by a touchdown, 45-38. NC State versus West Virginia. West Virginia, 7.5-point underdogs at home. I think West Virginia wins this game. I think it's a bit bold to say that, but I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say West Virginia wins this one. I know they looked really disappointing against Missouri last week. I'm going to say they win this one in kind of a shootout fashion. Let's go 35-30 West Virginia in that one. Next game, game of the week in my opinion, Florida versus Kentucky. Kentucky is an 8-point underdog at home. Yes, I know that they are going to be missing Terry Wilson for the rest of the year because he had a knee injury. I'm going to say Kentucky wins this game outright. I think Kentucky wins this one in kind of a low-scoring fashion. Let's go 21-20 Kentucky. They win by 1 point at home as they continue their winning streak against Florida as they will go up to 2 games after they got beaten by Florida for the past 31 years. Next game, Duke versus Middle Tennessee. A very interesting underrated matchup right here. Middle Tennessee, 7-point underdogs at home. I'm going to say Middle Tennessee wins this one outright. I thought they looked okay against Michigan from what I saw on the TV. I didn't really watch them last week, but I'm going to say Middle Tennessee. They pull off the upset here. At Duke, I'm have concerns about the offense. And I'm going to say Middle Tennessee wins this one. I have it 31-23 Middle Tennessee. And then the final upset. And this one I'm pretty sold on, believe it or not. Northern Illinois versus Nebraska. Nebraska, a 2-touchdown favorite, a 14-point favorite at home. I think Northern Illinois goes in there and beats them. Nebraska, they're clearly not back. They seem to be toying around with a lot of opponents. I think Northern Illinois goes in there and pulls off a shocking upset. Give me Northern Illinois in this one. I have it 27-24 Northern Illinois. So those are my picks for week 3. Comment down below. Tell me what you think about my picks. One thing I forgot to say in the week 2 video, but I said this in the week 1 video. If there's a game you want me to pick, and if it's not on this slate of games I pick, and if you still want me to pick it, just comment down the game below. I'll be more than happy to pick it for you. So if you want to do that, feel free to go ahead and do that. But anyways, that's all I have. We'll have NFL picks coming out later tonight. I have to do some things. So they won't be out probably not until maybe 11 p.m. at night or something like that. But anyway, stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. McD the Beast here, signing off.